Imagine if there were a disciplinary tribunal in the U.S. that could go after Clarence Thomas or Samuel Alito for their all expenses paid trips around the world by, Republican donors who have cases before the Supreme Court, right?
That's why they hate it. They want the corruption. They love the corruption. The capitalists need the corruption to do evil shit. This is the point we're at. There's no longer any confusion about the way the world is, okay? Everybody is exposed to the corruption. And there's basically three ways to deal with the corruption. You could just put your head in the sand and ignore it. You could fight it, or you could participate in it. Democrats in the U.S. are the head in the sand party. We don't have a fight it party. We do not have if you want to fight corruption, there's no one to vote for. The Republicans are more corruption. The Democrats are head in the sand and take a little bribes from the side. There is no fight corruption party. Like, you just oscillate between, we're doing a bunch of corruption, and we make the corruption permanent. And we're doing a bunch of corruption, and we make the corruption permanent. There is no person to vote for if you believe in reform in this country. There is a fascist party and a conservative party. That's it. Who do I vote for if I want reforms? Who do I vote for? There isn't anybody to vote for.
You'd never seen the Mexican Supreme Court so active until AMLO and Morena took power. And all of a sudden they're batting everything back. So, for example, in something like the energy reform, which was very important, it was an attempt by Mexico to reassert public control over its energy sector and its electrical grid. The first injunction comes in 6 hours after it's passed, and then another injunction and another injunction. And so they suspend the whole law. So this is the way that they're using lawfare to freeze the entire attempt to remold the country in the courts. Unlike U.S. Democrats, Morena is not sitting on their hands on this, right? The electoral reform provides for a total renovation of the Supreme Court next year. Beautiful. And now the Supreme Court is going to have to be elected.
Beautiful.
Right? As will all the other federal
Absolutely
judges.
Beautiful.
There'll be term limits on the Supreme Court. There are term limits now, but the term limits will be reduced to 12 years. How nice would it be in the U.S. if Supreme Court judges were limited to 12 years, right?
Beautiful.
There will now be a disciplinary tribunal that will have the power to punish judges and suspend and even get rid of corrupt judges.